90% of people's problems are relationships. Relationships are the number one cause of stress. It's also what keeps people going forward to live their best life. Life is painful, sometimes very hard, and sometimes very good, very inspiring. It's a mixed bag, but you make your life harder when you keep or go back to failed, broken, unequal relationships. I think about in life, I'm about midway through life, I'm a middle-aged man. I think about what has caused me to stumble, what almost caused me to go back to, it's either you're going in two directions, backwards or forwards. And if you're idle, then you're going backwards, because idle time is the devil's playground. It's even if you fail, it's better to be pushing forward and grow from failure than to stay in the same place. But I think about life, and I observe my life and those around me. I think about what has caused people the most problems in their life. And most people, it's relationships. 90% of people's problems is relationship. So like there's a saying, more money, more problems, but more relationships, more problems. That's more accurate. Divorces, family members, friends. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Many times it is. It could just be a friend. But relationships that have exposed themselves as unequal, unhealthy, or just no longer at the same level. Sometimes you just outgrow people. It's not that you're better than them. It's not that they're evil. But as a human trying to live your best life, you have to make an executive decision, an evaluation, and saying, who should be part of my life going forward? And I can tell you this. If you reestablish failed relationships, if you invite the trolls back in, if you invite the people who almost caused you to go backwards because of your own doing, you will live a life of more suffering. That's always my sales pitch. My sales pitch is to myself and others like, look, we're here. We're in earth. You can hate the earth, you can hate life, and it's an honest feeling to have. But you also need to be honest in your evaluation. Are you making your life harder or better? And if 90% of your problems are relationship orientated, you have to make serious decisions on who's allowed to be in your inner circle. You want to keep your extra capacity in dealing with people for your career, for your public appearances that you're driving around. See, it's always the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's the people that are struggling with their relationships at home. It's people that are burnt out and they don't have the capacity to deal with coworkers. They don't have the capacity to deal with traffic. Because it's like you're already stretched thin at home. You're already stretched thin in your inner circle. And if you've gotten out of this entanglement and now you're thinking about going back to someone, you're thinking about allowing them to come back into your life, and whether it's for money or for an emotional void. I see some people say, I'm going to invite the trolls back in just for money, and they're going to suffer. I see people say, I'm going to let this person back in because I feel bad and I miss that emotional connection. That you're going to go backwards and it's a toxic situation. Never go back to your former life. You have to grow and evolve. I'm not saying you can't make amends. I'm not saying you can't come to a place of closure. But I'm telling you this. If you keep relationships in your life that have expired, your life will smell like a carton of expired milk. Have you ever smelled something that's expired? Milk, meat. Oh, it's a bad smell. It's death. It's death. It's misery. So, my reflection this morning, like many of my videos, are not trying to figure out what new thing can I tell you to get you all excited. My reflection is meditate on that which is good, holy, and wholesome to push you forward. Even if it's the same thing you said the other day. Why? Because it's the basic, simple things that we must remember to keep us going forward. Not some new thing, not some new RV. Basic disciplines, focus. What's the difference between a laser and a light? Focus. What's the difference between a troll and a loving, supporting person? Big difference, that's I'll tell you. What's the difference between going back to a relationship that almost destroyed you? Now you got your shit back together and you're thinking about reestablishing? Don't do it. Don't do it. I'd rather you feel bad and guilty than feel destroyed. You may feel bad and guilty because someone's not in your life. I'd rather you feel that. I'd rather feel that than feel like, you have lost your voice. Have you lost yourself being with someone? A friend or a lover? And now you want to go back to where you lost yourself? Never go back to where you lost yourself. Never go back to where you lost yourself. Why? Because you got to live with yourself the rest of your life.